Welcome to my top 10 most anticipated comics for November 8th, 2023. I'm Mike Spiderslayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. Hopefully this list helps you make decisions on what comic books to buy because, you know what? It's never too early to start that pull list for next week. All right, guys, so before we jump into it, I just got to give a quick shout out to Whatnot. Guys, if you haven't downloaded Whatnot today, go ahead and do it today by using my link in the description box below. So when you use my link and you create your profile, and then once you win your first auction on Whatnot, it will credit you $15 off of that first purchase. So whether you're a collector of comics or other things, guys, you're going to get $15 off. Take advantage of it today. It's absolutely for free, and it does help support the channel. So thank you. All right, so here we go. The book that's on the hot seat this week, it goes to Gods issue 2. So issue 1 for me was okay. You got that crazy Jonathan Hickman story. It was like 64 pages, a lot of dialogue. It was a little bit overwhelming, and at the same time, a lot did not happen in that comic book. But I want to see what issue 2 has to offer for its readers. Give it a little bit more of a chance. Interesting story about this guy by the name of Wynn and his ex-wife. There were two different factions. This one guy wound up going on this journey of collecting these different items to beat this guy who had the Living Tribunal's like staff or whatever it is. That's all I got out of the last issue. Where it goes from here, I have no idea. But I'll try this comic once again. This time the page count is a lot less. It's 28 pages, and this one I think is $5. Here's a book that's on the rise. You know why it's on the rise? Because I don't think it could have dropped any further than it actually did. And this goes to Batman. This is issue 139. We have a new story arc begins. The freaking whole Gotham War shit is over. No more Catwoman, none of that stuff. We have the Joker who is involved. So we haven't seen the Joker in a little while. I think it was at the beginning of Tynion's run, and since the last time maybe we saw the Joker when I think Punchline was introduced, right? It seems like it's been that long. So I want to see how Chip Zdarsky writes the Joker and Batman in a story together. So hopefully things improve once again. I know a lot of people are down on Chip Zdarsky's run. Maybe it was DC's decision to say, hey, we got to have a Batman run and you got to cross it over with Catwoman. Who knows? I'm going to give them another try here. This is Legacy number 904, 40 pages, and this one is $5. Coming in at number 10, we have What If Dark? Tomb of Dracula, issue 1. So we have Marv Wolfman, who is returning to the Tomb of Dracula. He was the co-creator of the character. So in this What If story, the what if is, what if Blade actually became a full vampire? That could be fun, right? I like the what if stories. These ones have been off and on for me. So we'll see what this one has to offer. Not much to say about it except that it's 40 pages and it's $5. Moving on to number 9, we have The Return of Phantom Road. This is issue 6. So this begins a new story arc. This book has been quite weird by Jeff Lemire, as we wind up getting to see this trucker who comes involved with a female who gets in a car accident, and they find this artifact. And like when they touched it, it wound up bringing them to like an upside down world where people are zombies and crap like that. And then they're trying to solve this mystery on how to get back. And they find out that there are certain stops that get them back into the right side up, but the story is much more deeper. There's a detective involved, and she's somehow connected to the whole thing. It seems like it's been a while since a book this series has come out, but I'm still looking forward to it. 28 pages, $4. Coming in at number 8, we have Superman 78. The Metal Curtain, issue 1. So Robert Venditti returns to the Man of Steel for the 78 sequel. Unfortunately, I never read the first one, and I heard so many great things about it. So I'm going to check this one out, and this has to do with the planet Krypton. So obviously when it exploded, we had Superman come to Earth, but there was something else that came with him in this series. What that thing is, I'm not 100% sure. I'm totally excited about that. I love 78 Superman. This one is 32 pages and it's $4. Robert Venditti is a great writer. Coming in at number 7. This has dropped so far already after only one issue after a great story arc. We have the Amazing Spider-Man issue 37, Gang War First Strike. So we have Wreck Rap, who is Parker spelled backwards, returns, and him and Spider-Man are going on this little mission together to acquire these Limbo Sinister Six characters to send them back to Limbo. Kind of lame if you ask me. There's hints of the gang war. It's right around the corner. We wind up getting Silvermane back, which was the highlight of the last issue, which I thought was kind of cool. But besides that, I don't think this issue is going to be very good. Again, it's a more filler before a major story arc that happens or major Spider-Man event that actually happens. So this is legacy numbering 931, 28 pages, $5. Coming in at number 6, we have Thanos issue 1, Thanos Vs The Illuminati. This is the Mad Titan descends upon Earth to retrieve something he has lost, and he must battle the Illuminati to actually get it. This could actually be a pretty fun book to check out. So I'm not going to hesitate on trying it. It's 40 pages. It's $5. Not much else to say about it, but I usually tend to try out these, Thanos books when they do come out because he is a pretty badass villain. Moving on to number 5, we have Uncanny Spiderman issue 3. It's titled Release the Hound. Silver Sable's commission heats up. Nightcrawler and a slippery devil. He's not about to surrender and let Orchis continue to terrorize New York City. So I thought the first issue was really good. The second issue was just okay for me, where we have him basically hooking up with Silver Sable almost, right? And she's the one that's supposed to capture him and bring him in. And I feel like she has different thoughts now. They did battle against the Rhino, but I don't know. I felt like the last issue wasn't as solid as the first one. I felt like this one was a little bit more disjointed, not sure where it's actually going after this issue, and I found myself a little bit less interested. This is 28 pages, and this one is $4. Moving on to number 4, we have the Madness issue 4. Great story about this poor woman who wound up losing her entire family with this government that was going to try to destroy her for a particular crime that she did commit. And the reason why she did it was because she wanted to have enough money so she could retire from being, a burglar, doing bad things, and she could settle with her family. And that's why this government wound up attacking her, because they felt she was too much of a threat. We wound up getting to see the origin of this Madness character. We wound up getting to see the person that's chasing after her. It's been a very solid story by J. Michael Straczynski. We're getting close to the end of it. There's 6 issues. This is issue 4, like I said. If you haven't checked this out, go ahead and check it out. I'm sure there might be still leftover copies on the rack. If not, wait for the trade. But great book. 32 pages, $4. Coming in at number 3, we have Dark Ride issue 9. This begins a new story arc. This is a great book from Joshua Williamson, who has created a world of a scary amusement park, right? It's not just one section of the park. The whole thing is a scary park, and the family that's attached to it is pretty scary themselves. They have a very checkered past when it comes to this park. It's supposedly rumored that maybe the owner of the park, the creator, sold his soul to the devil to have this amusement park be successful. We've learned a little bit more about the family, where the mom has come from, where the dad has come from. We learned about the son. Now we're going to be learning about the daughter here, and if she is going to take over this park. Very, very character-driven story. I love the park. I love the creepy factor to this book. Definitely recommend this one. 32 pages, $4. Coming in at number 2, and you guys might be surprised at this one, but this one goes to The Punisher. This is issue 1. Now, I might be in a minority of this, but I did like the last volume of Punisher. That one was written by Jason Aaron, and this was a different take on the character that I don't think we've seen before. And he didn't completely put down his guns. There was a motive there. And if you guys never read that one, I suggest that you actually read it. This one, though, is written by David Pepose, who did the Savage Avengers, Moon Knight, City of the Dead. And I think this one could be cool, too, because this is not Frank Castle. He's somewhere else at this point in time. And we're going to get a new Punisher here who looks like he was an ex-SHIELD operative. So why is he taking the mantle of the Punisher? Who knows? There's just complete unknowns when it comes to this comic book, but that's what makes it interesting. I want to see the story here. Hopefully this character does catch on a little bit and people gravitate towards this book. This one is 40 pages, $6. I want to know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. So remember, everybody, after number 1, we're not done, as we have those noteworthy comic books to talk about. These are my top 10 most anticipated. You might not be interested in any of these comics, so that's why I bring up the noteworthy books, so maybe you can put this on your pull list for next week. So speaking of number 1, my number 1 most anticipated comic for next week, of course, is going to be Transformers issue 2. Transformers issue 1 was a huge hit between, for all the fans out there that love Transformers. And I think a lot of readers liked it, even if you weren't a Transformers fan, because if you're a Daniel Warren Johnson fan, you can totally appreciate the emotion that goes into these characters, even already after 1 issue. So now we get to see Starscream, who looks like who's terrorizing the humans in this particular issue. And then hopefully we get to see the Autobots regroup in what is going to be their team, because all we got so far was Optimus Prime and Ratchet. It looks like we're going to get, RC obviously, and then Cliffjumper, who is almost like a counterpart to Bumblebee. They're almost very similar, right? Except he's red and Cliffjumper is actually a kind of like a wise ass. So really cool book. So definitely check this one out. This one is 32 pages, and this one is $4. On to the noteworthy comics. We move on to Marvel Comics, and of course, we start off with these X books. Fall of X still going on. We have X-Force. This is issue 46. Next, we have X-Men Red. This is issue 17. Then we move on to Star Wars Darth Vader. This is issue 40. Guardians of the Galaxy is next on the list with issue number 8. More Star Wars. We have Star Wars The High Republic issue 1. Didn't we already have an issue 1? Like, is this another volume? Like, why can't they name it Star Wars High Republic blah blah blah, right? It's so confusing for people. Like, where do you jump on? Then we have Marvel's Unleashed. This is issue 4. All right, we're going to switch it on over now to DC Comics. We have Poison Ivy, issue 16. Then we have Shazam, issue 5. Birds of Prey, issue 3. Then we have The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing. This is issue 12. Then we have The Blue Beetle, issue 3. Fire and Ice, issue 3. And then we move on to the indie comics. We have The House of Slaughter, issue 19. Then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue 145. Moving on to Spawn, we have King Spawn. This is issue 28. And then on the list, it has Scorched issue 23, but these books could be delayed. Not sure if they'll separate them. And then we move on to the continuation of Undiscovered Country, issue 27. Next, we have, this was a good book, Midlife or How to Hero at 50, issue number 2. So relatable for me. Then for the Army of Darkness fans out there, we have Army of Darkness Forever. This is issue 2. Then we move on to a book of all ages, Sonic the Hedgehog. This is issue 66. So there you guys have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated comics and noteworthy comics for November 8th, 2023. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Speaking of content now, I'm going to leave you more content right here for you guys to click on. In fact, this is my top 10 comic book covers of the week, the video series I do all year where you can vote on your favorite comic book cover. Why don't you click on it, check on it out. It's a lot of fun. And of course, guys, support those local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but more importantly, guys, always read your comics. Guys, I'll see you on New Comic Book Day. Take care. Bye.